يا شهر الندى.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد. اللهم اقسم لنا من خشيتك ما تحول به بيننا وبين معاصيك، ومن طاعتك ما تبلغنا به جنتك، ومن اليقين ما تهون به علينا مصائب الدنيا. اللهم متعنا بأسماعنا وأبصارنا وقوتنا ما أحييتنا، واجعله الوارث منا، واجعل ثأرنا على من ظلمنا، وانصرنا على من عادانا. اللهم لا تجعل مصيبتنا في ديننا، ولا تجعل الدنيا أكبر همنا ولا مبلغ علمنا، ولا تسلط علينا من لا يخافك ولا يرحمنا. وصل اللهم وسلم على سيدنا محمد، والحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم إنا نسألك أن تجعل نياتنا صافية لوجهك، وأن تيسر لنا الخير أينما كنا وحيثما توجهنا، إنك على كل شيء قدير. Lillahi ta'ala, have the good intentions, we seek the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only. Insha'Allah ta'ala, we're going to continue from where we left off. Al-Qadi Abu Shuja, he mentioned at the beginning of this chapter of purification the different types of water as far as their source is concerned. Afterwards, he started mentioning 4 types of water as far as the judgment of the water is concerned. The first of these 4 is the water which is pure, purifying, and it is not disliked to use it, and this is known as the absolute water. The next type of water, Al-Qadi Abu Shuja, he says, rahimahullah, قال: وطاهر مطهر مكروه، أي مكروه استعماله تنزيها في البدن لا في الثوب. The second type of water is the water which is pure and purifying. However, it is disliked to use it in the body, but it is not disliked to use it in cleaning one's clothing. This is called, as Al-Qadi Abu Shuja says, وَهُوَ الْمَاءُ الْمُشَمَّسِ. It is the water which is heated by the sun. أي المسخن بتأثير الشمس فيه بحيث تنفصل من الماء زهوما. This is the water which is affected by the sun. It has been heated up by the sun to the extent that a substance forms within the water, which is called zuhuma, and it can be seen on the surface of the water. An example of how it would be seen is if one has a cup of dark tea, a cup of tea, which is dark, like black tea, while the water is hot, if one looks at the surface of the water, they can see a type of discoloration on the surface of the water. This substance, which is on the surface of the water, is due to the effect of the tea inside of the water. Just as one sees this within the tea, the hot tea, similarly, one would see a substance on the surface of the water when the water has been heated by the sun. ويروى عن سيدنا عمر رضي الله تعالى عنه وأرضاه إنه يورث البرص. And it has been narrated from our master Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu that he said that this water, which has been heated by the sun, can cause leprosy. It is not for certain that it will cause leprosy, but it is a possibility. وعلى هذا إنما يكره شرعا المشمس بشرطين. According to this, in order for the water which has been heated by the sun to be disliked to be used, two conditions must be filled. أحدهما, the first of them is أن يكون التشميس في إناء منطبع كالنحاس والحديد والرصاص. The first condition is that this water would be heated by the sun while the water is in a metallic container, not a ceramic container nor a clay container, but metallic, such as a brass container or a lead container or a container made out of iron. As for a container made out of pure gold or pure silver, it has its own judgment, which inshallah will come. So this is the first condition, that the water would be heated by the sun in a metallic container made of metals such as iron, brass, or lead. والثاني, the second condition, أن يقع التشميس في البلاد الشديدة الحرارة. The second condition is that this heating up by the sun of the water would take place in a land in which the climate is very hot. Like, for example, Mecca or Yemen or Arizona, generally speaking. واختار النووي عدم الكراهة مطلقا. However, Imam al-Nawawi radiyallahu ta'ala anhu wa ardah chose the opinion that it is absolutely not disliked. It is not disliked absolutely to use this water. من حيث الدليل. And this is because the evidence to say that using such water under the conditions that we mentioned to make purification, not to remove najasa not to remove filth in clothing, but to be used on the body, the evidence in reference to the sun-heated water causing leprosy is not strong enough to be used in such a case. So what was narrated in the hadith is weak. And those scholars who said that this evidence is not strong enough, they said, therefore, the usage of such water in purification is not disliked. It is not disliked. Then Al-Qadi Abu Shuja, he says, قال وطاهر غير مطهر. He says, and this is the third type of water as far as the judgment is concerned. It is the water which is pure, طاهر لنفسه, or في نفسه. It is pure in itself, طاهر في نفسه, غير مطهر لغيره, but it does not purify others. The quality of promoting purification, of purifying other things, does not exist in this water. It is pure, but it is not purifying. وهو ماء المستعمل, وهو الماء القليل المستعمل. This type of water is the small amount of water which has been used أي في رفع الحدث. It was used in lifting the ritual impurity, أو إزالة النجس, or it was used to remove filth. إذا لم يتغير ولا زاد وزنه. As long as, so when it was used in removing filth, as long as its properties have not changed, and we will talk more about the changing of properties of the water later, inshallah, and as long as its volume, its weight did not increase. As long as its weight did not increase, as long as the water did not get heavier. For if that happened, if the water was used to remove najis filth, and the water then changed, or the water got heavier, this is an indication that the filth has contaminated the water, and thus the water would not be pure. And if it is not pure, it does not purify other things. لأن الصحابة رضي الله عنهم مع شدة اعتنائهم بالدين ما كانوا يجمعونه ليتوضأوا به. The evidence that this used water does not purify is the fact that the companions, may Allah accept their good deeds, despite their great care and their great level of being meticulous in regards to the matters of the religion, despite that, they did not gather such water to then be used to make wudu with it. So this is an indication that that water is not purifying. Then Al-Qadi Abu Shuja, he says, قال والمتغير أحد أوصافه من طعم ولون وريح بما خالطه من الطاهرات. So القاضي قال القاضي والمتغير بما خالطه من الطاهرات، أي ومتغير أحد أوصافه من طعم وريح ولون بما خالطه من الطاهرات. So Abu Shuja, he is saying, additionally, the water which is pure but not purifying is the water which has changed due to its mixing with another pure substance. So it changed by one of its attributes changed. Its taste changed. Its color changed. Or its smell changed. So it changed. تغيرا يمنع إطلاق اسم الماء عليه فإنه طاهر غير طهور حسيا. يعني كان التغير أو تقديريا فيما يدرك بالحس. That is, the water was mixed with another pure substance in such a way that this change removed the reference of water to it. That is, you can no longer call this water water. You can no longer call what resulted from the mixing of the water with another pure substance water. It's no longer water anymore. The name water no longer applies to it. It is pure because it was not mixed with a filthy substance, but it is not purifying. Whether that change was could be detected, it could be sensed, or whether that change cannot be detected, rather it was approximated. And this is something, inshallah, the details as far as the approximation of that change would come. That judgment pertains to the water when it was mixed with a substance which is similar to the water. Its viscosity was similar to the water. The taste was similar to the water. The color was similar to the water. The smell was similar to the water. You cannot distinguish between the two. So how would you approximate whether this substance which has been put inside of the water, whether it's no longer purifying water, it's no longer considered water which is pure, which is purifying, although it may still be pure. To make it more clear, if one takes sugar and places it in water, and then one takes some lemons and places it into water, at what point would this water no longer be considered water? Rather, it would be considered lemonade. Lemonade is pure, it is not filthy. However, one cannot purify themselves with lemonade. Lemonade is not good for lifting the ritual impurity, nor is lemonade good for removing najis filth. A small amount of sugar, if placed into water, a small amount, would you still call this water? Yes. A small splash of lemon placed into water, would you still call it water? Yes. So the water would remain pure and purifying. But if you add enough lemons, if you add enough sugar into the water, you would no longer call it water, rather you would call it lemonade. So such a substance is pure, but it is not purifying. It is not good for purification. وَإِلَى هُنَا بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ. Inshallah, we will stop here at this point and continue in the next session. Wallahu subhanahu wa ta'ala a'lam wa ahkam. اللهم سامحنا واعف عنا واجعل القرآن ربيع قلوبنا ونورا لأبصارنا وجوارحنا يا أرحم الراحمين واغفر لنا يا ربي فإننا مؤمنون لا إله إلا الله اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم رب اغفر لي وللمؤمنين والمؤمنات وبارك الله بكم وأحسن الله إليكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
يا شهر الخيرات والإحسان والبركات يا رمضان